Welcome to the Ultimate Fan Cast, where fans are the star of the show. Each week, we explore the epic co-created Battle Bunnies franchise from legendary artists Frank and Christa LaNatra and the team at Junkbox Studios. Ultimate fans join BBS, Lord L, and Brian as they dive deep into the extraordinary world of the Battle Bunnies. Plus, we'll be your guides and take you backstage with the creators and actors who are captivating family audiences worldwide. Are you ready to meet this week's Ultimate Fan? It's time to fan up and enjoy the show.
We have a great community member coming up, member of the Fluffle. Him and I, we met in another project called the Beatheads, and he's a great community member. He's the #1 hype bunny, ultimate fan, Discofur. Totally excited to have you here.
Oh yeah,
You're the best.
100%
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Fans, for sure.
Thank you for that warm introduction.
If we're going to call this the Ultimate Fan Cast, we have to have the Ultimate Fan on as our first recording post the pod.
100%.
I mean, yeah, look at that. Like, you guys came prepared with your mugs. You can see mine in the back. They don't get used. I use my old dirty BB-8 mug from another franchise some of us might care about.
Love that franchise.
Oh yeah. So how you doing today, Disco? What's how's your day going? You're not in the same times. We're all not in the same time zone. So
Nope,
well, I guess me and BBS are. But
Yeah, doing good today. Still afternoon for me on the West Coast, but yeah, doing real good. Excited to be a part of this and excited to chat with you guys.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you. But you were an obvious choice. Like, there was never a doubt that you were going to be on the show. It's as we're kicking this off, we're learning that a lot of the people in the community are not as extroverted as we would like, as far as like wanting to join us for the show. But I think once things get rolling, people will come on the show. And I think my intent is like having you back. Like it won't be like your only time on the show kind of thing. We will definitely bring members of the community back to talk. Like that's something I'm very, very excited about because, new things are happening. I mean, events, that kind of thing. And we'll want to bring people back like yourself. So I'm looking forward to that.
I would be happy to be that special guest that shows up every once in a while on the show.
And
Kind of like a rash. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So being that you're always around too, and you always got your fun antics on Twitter, and I'm sure everyone has seen some of the cool little graphics that you've posted off. Some maybe a little bit hairy, but definitely it adds to the #1 hype bunny. You don't get that nickname for no reason. So definitely good to have you here, man. We're so stoked to just see you in person. We're hearing your voice 24/7 and seeing you in Discord 24/7. Everywhere we go, Discofur's there, and it's good to actually put a face to the voice behind the PFP. And
we spoiler alert to those watching. We actually talk before we turn on the record button, and BBS and Disco were talking like this is the first time. And over like you guys have known each other for over a year and you've never seen each other face to face, had a conversation.
A year in this space is like 5 years. Like a year in this space is like 5 years. Like really.
100%.
I've talked to Disco. I've talked to the three of you for like longer than I've talked to most people. So, I'm introverted. Like I get that. Like we ask, community members, hey, do you want to do this? And they're like, it's not. I don't know. I get that, but once they see how we are, I think everybody be jumping in, and taking Disco's lead.
100%, man. And I know we do like to jump into character here over definitely in the Bunnies universe. And I was going to say, if you were going to be a character, what would you be? But you are a character in so many different forms. in the Discord, in the game, in the TCG, in the book. So it's there's no point asking you if you were going to be one character for a day, right? Like, who would it be? Because it's Discofur himself.
We actually have a visual. Can I bring in the visual? This is a good segue for a visual, right? Like literally, you are you are a character in the game. You are so awesome. Also, if I could bring it to stage, you're this same character here is also in the digital collectibles. Am I correct?
You are correct. That is Discofur, my ultimate hero.
Very nice. How did Discofur come together? Like, what was the process like?
Okay, well, so back in the day, you had to hold each of the Series 1 bunnies, meaning a Viking, a Shaman, Valkyrie, a Sorcerer, and I don't know, one other one. I don't remember what it's called.
Stop it. You know what it is.
It's a pirate.
It's a dirty pirate. Yes. So, and a Spartan, and then you could get your ultimate hero. So luckily, to some great community members, I was able to get all of my bunnies, and I chose Discofur because my real name is Christopher, and everybody calls me Disco from many, many years of truck driving. So that was my CB handle. So I just went with Discofur because it's kind of like Christopher. So,
and cool. Just a quick point while we're here, if you don't know, this card here is in the game. You hear us speaking about the game. It is the Battle Bunnies TCG. And that is all created by us as the community. It's all done by that. So it's having that big integral part, like us being able to make and have our characters be a part of it. And you're not a massive TCG game nut, are you, Disco?
No. I'm a collector. I like looking at things on the shelves.
Yeah, and that goes to show, man, like being a part of this massive part of this TCG game, and you're not big on TCGs itself. It's the art, it's the collectible, it's the camaraderie of us community and us family, and being in the novel too. Like you wrote your own little script for the novel, right?
Yeah, I am super excited for the second version to come out because I wasn't part of the bunnies when the first novel was written. So hopefully, with any luck, when the second version is written and when it comes out, there's a chance I could be a part of it. A very good chance.
And that character in the book will have rainbow hair and carrying a rainbow hatchet and battle axe and the nice little scruff on the bottom, and laser eyes. Is that what we're gonna see in the book potentially?
100%, because that is Discofur. He has a backstory where he traveled around Imaginative Falls and all through the lands with his dinosaur, Cadia. And Cadia actually is right here. This is Cadia, the dragon. I don't know if you'll see it, but that's her. So they traveled along around the lands, and so we might see them in the second version of the book, or the second series.
That's great.
So, are you a fan of disco? Like the music? Is that part of it too, or is that?
What is it? Yeah.
A fan of what now?
A disco, the music, like the disco genre from
Lord's like, yeah, let's go.
No. So the name Disco, like I said, I'm still a truck driver, but I used to tour with rock bands. One of those bands happened to be Green Day. So the first show, I show up so we can load in for the concert, and I had these neon lights on my semi-truck that were glowing off the fuel tanks, red, blue, green. Gorgeous. My truck looked amazing. So one of the other truck drivers gets on the CB and says, "Who is that disco duck-looking idiot with the lights flashing all over his truck?" And I've been disco ever since.
It's weird how names stick, right? Lordell has a story behind his name. BBS has a story behind his name. my name is Brian, like there's this, there's no story there other than the fact that my parents didn't know what to name me. And they're just like, he's been alive for 3 days. Let's give him a name. How about Brian?
I think that actually fits you really well, because whenever we talk about it, we go, who bought that? It was Brian. It's like,
right,
Brian.
yeah.
Brian did that, Brian.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think, like, we definitely do want to initiate you with a nickname, but I think we're always going to know you and love you for Brian. Like, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. My wife's like, there's always somebody in the group that's just like Brian, like, or Steve, or, just has like a name or something like that, instead of actually having a personality. Not to say that I don't have a personality, but maybe I don't. Like, who knows?
Maybe
No, you definitely do.
No, it's been great since you've been around, which, compared to some of us hasn't been that long. But yeah, we all know who Brian is. We all know who we're talking about when someone says, oh, Brian picked this up, or, oh, look what Brian picked up today, or
How did Brian get that?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Brian's very aggressive about his purchase of bunnies because he fell in love. Like that was how I jumped in. Like, it was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I originally started out with just a few things, and then I was like, wait a second, look at all these other things and all these other things. And yeah, so
I think that's where the ultimate, fan cast comes from too. It's hosted by fans, ultimate fans themselves, and we're just up here continuing to talk and like to spread the word about what we love. And it's hard not to when we've got so many people like us and you, Discofur, and I can't wait to whoever else we bring up next. They're going to have the same passion and drive that we have, and we just learn from each other and continue to keep on keeping on. So it's the way this space is going is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's how I got started with the bunnies. Is I was in another project, and it wasn't going quite where I thought it was going to go. So I was looking around, came across the bunnies, and I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for. So that's how I became the #1 hype bunny, because I'm like, holy crap, I can be part of a novel. So I'm not just buying a JPEG and, letting it sit on the computer screen. I'm actually going to be a part of a novel, a part of a Discord family, a part of a TCG game. I won't play TCG, but I can say I've got a card. I mean, that's just amazing. I'm hyped, and I love the bunnies.
And when you're part of it too, you'll understand, the passion that obviously you're talking about now, Disco, is because, the effort and time that Frank and Christa put into this, and like, this is legit is a fairy tale for them, and it's coming true. Like, they met in animation school. Like, how crazy is that? They all had this. They had the same vibe, the same, the vibe attracts your tribe, and they really wanted to make this something bigger than what it is. We are creating, an IP brand here. We're creating something for future generations. Our kids are going to be a part of this, and it's. When you guys will experience this anyway, when we get Frank and Christa up here and you see the passion and, you see the dedication that they have in the Discord, and then all this other stuff is, like you said, is like, it's community driven. Like the TCG game was created by the community. The rabbit hole was created by one of the community members. And we're all constantly just bringing more to this, because like, that's what feeds me, is the passion that they bring to us. And it's hard to even explain on these fan casts, and that's another reason why like this thing is so special to me, this fan cast, because I really want to get out there exactly what we feel and what we see, and the dedication, and then just the art on its own would sail us through. But it's like, it's all these things as well, and the fact that you're here jumping up right now straight away. Hands up was when we first spoke about it. I think on one of the roundtables, you were like, I'm coming. On the back on the back end, we were like, I don't know if we should get him up. He's having some of his graphics, like what's he got prepared for us? But it seems like you've toned it down for us. Maybe maybe in a couple more seasons, when everyone's a bit more in tune to the Discofur, we'll slip out some of your more antics.
Yeah, I'm trying to be on my best behavior for y'all. But,
it's a kid-friendly show, or it's intended to be.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about the Battle Bunnies project. It is kid-friendly. We're not here to curse and yell and scream and put dirty pictures in our Discord. Let's be honest. The novel, The Unlikely Spartan, it is an amazing story to tell your children. You know, read to your children, have your children read. You know, we're not trying to make an X-rated film. You know, this is a family project. We're a family. That's what we're all about. And as far as Frank and Christa go, I've been in many Discords over the years, and no artist, no project team, original dev, whatever you want to call them, is on the Discord anywhere near as much as Frank and Christa are. I mean, I'm a mod in the Bunnies, and Frank and Christa still blow me away with how much they're on. It's, you know, I can't, when I try to like say hello or good morning to somebody, Frank and Christa's already beat me to it. I mean, it's crazy how much they're in there.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because, you know, with these projects and, you know, what we're a part of, you know, we don't necessarily expect a founder to be on 24/7, you know, and
no, we don't.
No, never. But yet they still, like, this is their life now. This isn't just a project for them. This isn't, you know, a pump and dump. Like, this isn't just something, like, this is legit their life now, and it speaks through in volumes. You know, they're in, like you said, they're in Discord 24/7, and, you know, even on their rest days, I'm on the back end hassling Christa, and she's like, you know, what's my rest day, dude? And I'm like, yeah, sorry, just reply back to me, and then she'll still reply back. And it's like, you know, that's just an added bonus. I feel, you know, we're investing in the project leaders, we're investing in the founders, we're investing in the community, and, you know, the fact that there's not a time that goes by that there isn't someone in there jumping in there, but, like, we don't expect it. That's not the thing. That the big goal is the end goal, and, you know, it's just, you know, that relationship that we've all created over this time. And, you know, like, I was here for the money at the start when I first joined Discord. You flip NFTs, people even in real life, you tell them, and they're like, I got NFTs. They're like, you're rich. And I'm like, it's different, okay? It's not the same. And that's what I came for. And don't get me wrong, the Bunnies have definitely blessed me, because, you know, we nothing but grind. We're nothing but go up in value. There's nothing that I've minted that.
This is not financial advice.
Financial advice.
Keep talking.
Do your own research. But it's the commitment, and it's the love, and it's what goes behind the scenes is what drives the value. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, we need to bring that back, that this is not financial advice. That's kind of died away. We need to bring that back.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So on that subject, I can remember with Disco, remember we were talking about the ghost bunnies, and you said, hey, no, it wasn't the ghost bunnies. That's the end. So with the Valkyries, way back when, with the dragons, right? So this is how awesome Disco is. This is my awesome Disco story. So before that, like, just spending, like, just time just talking with him, and, like, so I hope you're not getting embarrassed by this, but he said, hey, you got to get one of these Valkyries, because they're going to give you a free dragon. And I was like, that's blowing my mind right now. I don't know what you're talking about. So I said, all right, I'll join the Battle Bunnies. I'll check it out. And I went and checked the floor, and it's too high. I was like, I just can't get into this project. I don't know anything about it. So I checked again, like a month, two later, and there was a couple on the floor. I was like, are you kidding me? They're on the floor? So I grabbed a couple of these bunnies on the floor. So then I'm starting to come back to the Discord. I'm like seeing all the people there, and I'm like, oh, these people are pretty good. And so then Disco starts saying, hey, you got to get one of these Valkyries, because it's the window is, you know, ticking here. Let's go find one. So now I'm finding one. Aaron's trying to look for one too. We're both, like, talking to everybody trying to get one. And then Disco says, hey, what's your wallet? And he sent me one. He sent me a ghost Valkyrie. I was blown away. I was like, I can't even, like, so I know, like, we've had history, and I thought that was, you know, like, whatever you need, I'm going to be like, yeah, whatever you need. You say, I need you to vote for something, I'm going to do it. You need me to drive to where you are and help you with something, I'll do that too. But after that Valkyrie thing, I'll fly there. I'll go anywhere you want me to go. Because I had no idea what any of that meant. And then that day that I got it airdropped, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. So yeah. I definitely owe you one for sure.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I was blessed. Yeah. When we minted the Ghost Bunnies, I was blessed with, I believe, 5 Valkyries. So I was like, because we were such good friends from the other project, I'm like, oh, you got to get in here, man. And I couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, you know what? To heck with it. Here, there's your Valkyrie. Now you're set. You got to have one.
Yeah, so I appreciate that 200%. I've never forgotten about it. I'll never trade it. It's gonna be passed down to the next generation for sure. So.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have an awesome disco story too about the DPS. You introduced me to DPS on one of the spaces. You sent me a Steph Diggs, Stephon Diggs. I didn't get him in my draft, unfortunately. Somebody else picked him up before I could. But he actually got me into Aaron's DPS, Dead Poker Society, for anybody that doesn't know the acronyms that we all know here in this group. Oh yeah, there you are behind. Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was like just, your random finger thing that you do in Twitter Spaces, and I ended up being the lucky recipient of that. And I have a few more. I don't want to say I don't have time to play poker, but I know you guys, I would probably be in there for 2 minutes, and because I asked how long does it take, and everybody's like, oh, it's 2 hours. I was like, that's probably somebody that's good. Like I would be in there for 2 minutes, and completely, I don't even know, like my money would be gone because I'm not a poker player. But the great thing is you guys have games and you get together and you have fun in that. And I know that Frank and Krista, love doing that as a pastime, and just, the communities definitely work well together. And we enjoy.
It's like you said, we're all going. So I'll be like you, Brian. I am like you because I'm there for about 3 to 4 minutes. I'll get sucked into a hand. But it's the fun. It's the camaraderie because we're in VCs at the same time when we're playing these games. So it's, it's more of an event than a game for me because, I'm not the best poker player. I'll go all in on something bad. But sometimes it goes pretty well. So, you don't have to be a really good poker player to play. But it's hanging with the fluffle. It's that's what I would check everything when we jump into Discord. We see where everyone's at because, we're a tight-knit community. We're all around the same places. So there'll be a VC somewhere with Disco throwing out some memes, or we're in there, and that's what it's about for me. Is that so you definitely come, Brian. You got it, and then if not, just go all in, and you can give me your hand.
Yeah. Well, we have a great time at voice chat, and I'm not a good poker player, but we just started the Fall Bash over there, and I actually won the Saturday night game? Yeah, the Saturday night game. So I just won a tournament last night, in fact. And I'm not a great poker player by any means, but I'm just there to hang out.
Being humble, he's very good. He's very, very good. He's being humble. He's good. Stop.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a head-to-head with Disco last year, or I don't even know. It could have been this year. Head-to-head, it was like 40 minutes head-to-head. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
I don't even know what head-to-head is. So
head-to-head is the last two people to go against each other, like at the table. So you get the final table. Let's say you start off with 10 players, 2 players at the end, then they go head-to-head. It's a different way to play the game. So yeah, it was like, oh, all right, well, I'm here with Disco now, so it's gonna be a while. One of us has to get good cards and then bet everything.
So it's the last one with like coins or cash or whatever on the thing.
The last two go head to head.
Yeah, you're definitely going out in the first minute, Brian. You may as well just go all in.
Chips. It's
well,
chips.
If you get head to head, it's a good shot. You could win it. I don't know.
But if you have your chips, the last person with chips, I know what they are. They're called chips.
All in a fold will be good for you. All right, Brian.
Yeah,
Same thing, because either all in or you fold, and it's literally down to luck. It's just going to be luck of the draw.
Well, I have September and October cards, so now I can actually play for the next couple months. So I plan on joining a couple of these when we're not going to Smashing Pumpkins like I did last night or something like that. So
on a different topic, right? I'm super interested to hear, Disco. Like, there's so much going on with the bunnies, right? And you said you loved it. Like, what interests you the most? Like, are you the collector of the art side? Are you like the tangible art, like with the collector cards we get? Like, what's it for you? Like, is it the story? Obviously the community, and we all love Frank and Christa, so we can negate that one straight away, or you chuck a little bit in because we obviously love them. But like, what's your fire? You know, you're not a big TCG game player, but yet you're in every VC to do with everything. You're talking about you got a card in the TCG, so it's like, what fires you? What's your daily? What's your
Well, and it's funny that you said we can negate Frank and Christa, because honestly, that is my number one. It is Frank and Christa. I mean, and yeah, it's obvious, but I mean, for instance, the novel is amazing, and I hope someday I can be in one of the series, but I don't read. I don't read books, I should say. Well, I don't read much at all, but you know, I think The Unlikely Spartan is probably the third book I've ever read cover to cover in my life, in my years. So yeah, I mean, it's
Bill's gonna start now.
Every day I wake up and I'm like, I have to do my Wordle first thing in the morning, and then post it in Gen Chat in the Discord, you know, and then I have to wait for Frank to say good morning to me, because he does every single morning. He says good morning to me, you know, and then, you know, just see what the community's doing, see how many icons Brian won while I was sleeping that I have to now give him because he keeps winning them in the rabbit hole game.
You're going to have a new stout. My son Asher started playing the rabbit hole game. He's already on like level 10. He's like, I haven't won anything yet, and I've played for 50 minutes. I was like, that's because you're not a holder. Like, we haven't hooked up his collab join yet. I've got to figure that out. Like, he is a holder, but he doesn't have his thing set up so he could actually win something. So
maybe we can interview him next time as a new Ultimate fan.
We will, yeah. Eventually, I would love to have my kids on this show. Like, I want them to be excited about this, like I am. Like, I know Asher is. Asher's 14; he loves it. But sorry, I stepped in. You mentioned me getting all those icons. Yes, you should hopefully see that. You know, every couple days, I should be winning something, because that's what it's all about.
That's awesome. Well, you're in there, yeah. But yeah, and just Frank and Christa, they are just so incredibly amazing. That's another thing that really drew me into this whole fluffle, if you will, is the fact that within, I want to say, the first 2 months of being part of the Battle Bunnies community, I felt as if I was ever in Florida and I didn't have a place to stay. Frank and Christa would say, come on over. I got a bed waiting for you. You know, no problem. And these are, you know, famous tattoo artists, and, you know, they own this whole project, but some random guy that is a jackass in Discord is more than welcome to come to their house. I love it.
And the generosity that they show, you know, same with me. Like, I'm coming from Australia to come to Richmond, and they're like, come to us 2 days early. You can stay with us. We'll show you the new house. You can road trip with us. And like, to me, you know, we're all Ultimate fans here, but I deep inside think I'm the Ultimate fan. Like, I love them. I love everything they do, everything they're a part of. It's just them themselves that continue to do it. And like, the art on its own, like that's my thing. That's what drew me to it. But it's like, their generosity legit is like leaps and bounds. And, you know, someone jumps in the Discord, I guarantee you, anyone that's listening right now that isn't in the Discord and wants to, they'll feel it straight away when they jump in and they say, what's up? You'll have the brigade of us all saying, yo, what's up? But you'll see it. And like, every time Frank says, hey, buddy, in chat, I think I picture him saying, hey, buddy. You know, the way he says it, like, you can't get it out of your head. Like, as soon as you hear him, you know, he sounds, it's a splitting image of like Gary V's voice, right? There's so many times when we're in a space with him, they're like, you Gary V, like, you sound like Gary V, and like, he's super humble, so he never takes it. But like you said, Disco Man, is like, they're these, in my eyes, these famous world-renowned artists, world-renowned tattoo artists. And like, I tell people in the game here, because, you know, I'm heavily tattooed. I'll show this bare arm, and it's got nothing, but I'm heavily tattooed, right? And, you know, having, like, talking about Frank and Christa in a big scheme of things, people are like, whoa, you know them. And I said, I could ring them right now and they'll answer. So that, how many projects do you know that you can just ring the founder off the bat? You can just message the founder and they're going to talk to you without waiting at 20. I'm not, you know, don't get me wrong, not saying that's not right, because obviously, you know, a lot of projects were based on that, but it's like that's their commitment to this and to us. And, you know, having you come up here and express that, it blows me off onto a tangent every time. So I got to, you know, I wanted to hear about your ultimate, you know, experience, but it's hard not to jump down the positive train when we're talking about them. Sorry.
You wanted to say rabbit hole, didn't you? He totally wanted to say rabbit hole, and he's like, I've got to use a different way to say this.
Good job.
But yeah, I mean, and the art is just so incredibly amazing that, you know, when I first got into the Discords and, you know, that 3-letter word NFT, you know, people were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for this pixelated art from an Atari 2600. And I'm like, are you serious? You know, and then you come across Frank's art and you're like, that's actual art. That's amazing. I would pay thousands of dollars for that.
Yeah, and he could get that. I mean, like he literally, I mean, his art, you know, he has that, like John's one of the co-founders, right? And that's how I came into the project, was through John, through a live event that we happened to both attend, you know, because we're part of this other community. And like he got involved with Frank and Christa through their art, like being from Florida, being in the area, saw some of their art. I think John will tell this story, but when we have him on the cast, but he, you know, he had his baby room decorated with Frank and Christa's art because it's just that good. It's like, it's stuff, you know, yeah, we have them in digital format. We've also, you know, got the opportunity to turn them into prints and larger prints and, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's so beautiful. Like, I mean, I fell in love with the art, like you, Disco. It's just phenomenal. Like my kids geek out about it, and they don't geek out about a lot of things. And they love it. You know, they're not quite into the Discord thing yet. But my youngest is at 14, you know, he's like, oh, this is really cool. So
yeah, well, I am super, super stoked because I've got a Frank's collab Joker from the Dead Poker Society. I'm going to have Aaron actually ship that to Frank for me so he can sign it. And then it's going to get shipped to me. And then at some point, once Frank and Christa get settled in their new home, Krista's got a custom painting she's doing for me that I won from a contest previously that is going to be my dogs and something that is very near and dear to me that I can't wait till I get this custom one of Christa LaNatra painting. It's going to be amazing.
He's so amazing with painting. Like that's such a gift. Like that's amazing. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, yeah. She's got some, if you get a chance, check out her YouTube, because she has some videos of her live drawing, and it's just amazing how it comes with, you know, just a couple pencil scratches on a piece of paper, and then, you know, it's like, wow, it pops. I mean, the animals look alive.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm sure we'll get to watch her paint it live in Discord. So that's another one of those added things is like, you know, you get to see the art made in front of you, and, you know, you'll be there and you'll be like, she'll ask you like different things, like what colors, and like being on the drink and draws is absolutely magical because it's legit. Like if you've got a one-of-one custom coming, or you've been a part of having one made, you know, you get to sit down with them and actually talk about it. They don't just whip up from your designs. Like it's a full intimate thing. Like getting them to do the colors you want. Yeah, they'll be talking you as you go, and then we get to see it as the community as well in the drink and draws and little tips and tricks. If you know, if you are an art savvy person and you do want to, you know, dive into it, they'll, you know, more than happy to share. And there's nothing off limits. There is no secret thing in the industry that they do that they don't want anyone else to do. You know, it's love, it's passion, it's, you know, we've all got our like little tricks or some things that we've done that make ourselves more useful, and we don't tell everyone, you know, 90% of it. But, you know, you don't get that when it comes to, you know, Frank and Christa drawing to it. So it's like anything we want to know, we get to see it. And I can't wait to see what you've got coming, because I'm sure we'll get to see it in the drink and draws. And we normally do them Fridays in Discord. So if you're ever floating around on a Friday and you want to come check it out, it's like 8 p.m. EST normal, isn't it, Disco?
Yep, correct.
Yep.
Yeah, and another side note, I actually stole this from another Discord community member, Bricky, but whenever Frank's doing live drawing in the drink and draw, tell him to add more runes because they look amazing in the picture. So you always want to tell Frank, more runes. We want more runes. I wish I could say them better, but you know what I'm saying.
No, well, I actually don't really.
We do 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I was, as you were talking about that, I was thinking about Brando's recent watercolor that Christa did, and that was just so awesome to watch, like that happening live, and how quick, like, and that's the other thing is like you have these two great artists that are creating all this stuff inside the community, and it's good art when other artists are attracted to this community because of the art. Like I mean, there's, and I don't know them all yet by name, but like we had several join recently that they had their own projects and they just really started geeking out about what we were doing in here because of the art, because they're artists and they can appreciate everything being hand drawn and the backgrounds, the bunnies, the other characters. I mean, it's just it blows my mind because I'd be like, this would take me 100 years, and this is like this is so
it's
awesome.
polished too. It's like it's everything. It's the website. If you hadn't had a chance to check out the website, it is absolutely amazing. It really covers a lot of things.
The battlebunnies.io.
Yeah, battlebunnies.io. So they have the game there that's pretty well explained. They have the story. They have bios of everybody that's involved. You can really learn a lot from this website that's rich in what I like to use content. As someone had said, hey, did you check this out? And it had been a little bit. It had been a little bit. So I said, I'll go look at it, whatever. So I looked at it. I was like, this is amazing. Like, how come no one is going to this thing?
Yeah. It's undiscovered.
You should definitely check out listeners. Please check out the website.
Yes, and also for those of you that are new to the World Wide Web, battlebunnies.com works too.
Oh, it does. You got a redirect.
Really?
Nice.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't know they
takes you to the same place.
That was a little dig at me, by the way, everyone.
Yes, it was.
www.goodfor. Okay, so and Disco never. He's got a good memory. Okay, he will never let you up.
It's a family when you keep ribbing people for a long, long time about the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It has been. I think it's not a week that has gone by about days where it'll come out, but it adds to the.
This might be good. This might be good coming from Disco. So let's say I'm a new community member. I go to the website. I say, all right, this Discord, I don't know what this is. I'm going to click on it. What advice would you give to a new person joining the world?
Well,
when you first come to the world, I mean, check it out on the website, but come to the Discord, and when you do so, you have to go through a quest. You answer 5 questions real quick, get the answers right, then you get into the Discord and say, hello, hey, I'm new to this project. We're all going to jump and say, hey, welcome, happy to have you here, that's awesome. And we're also going to say, if you have any questions, go to the starter guide, or if it still doesn't make sense, just ask us in the Discord. There's one of us at all times in that Discord, so whenever people ask questions, somebody's going to jump on it. Oh, here, this is where you go, here's the link to this. Just because we're so passionate and we're so in love with this project that we get excited when someone new comes in, because they're like, we get to go through that same, like excitement and like, oh my God, this is new and amazing with them. I love it. I love bringing new people in. Ask me questions. I'm all about it.
I love that you brought that up because I feel the same way. When someone new comes in, I'm like, oh, imagine when I was new, this was great.
And
everybody just jumps in. You're like, you don't know why everybody's saying hi to you, and like they're so excited for you.
No one's ever disappointed when you refer them to. I've noticed that too. You refer them to the Battle Bunnies, and then I had someone actually literally like yesterday say it, and he was like, oh, I don't really have the time to dive in. I said, that's totally sweet. Just jump in when you can. Just check it out, because it was a holder. So it's like, why not? And then he literally sent me a message straight away saying, "Whoa, like he's got the time for it. Like he's going to dive in because you just feel it. It's welcoming. There is a lot to take in though. So a hell of a lot to take in. We're talking 18 months of Frank and Christa being on here all the time.
Yeah, you don't have to read the whole novel the first day and jump into all the different channels. Cause I mean, I've introduced this to a lot of family members recently, and I'm relatively new too. It was a little overwhelming for me at first because I came into not being part of larger Discord communities like this. I'd been part of very small communities, other marketing nerds like me that just, want to talk about one thing and one thing only. The Discord server offers a lot of things for a lot of people. There's games, there's articles, there's the co-creation piece that, Disco talked about earlier about being part of the game and, having a backstory like that is one thing. Like if you're a writer or somebody that enjoys just being creative, that's one area that you could totally geek out on and dive into, write your backstory, on a bunny. Or if you don't have a bunny, but you love a bunny and you find the owner of it and they don't have a backstory for it, I think they would be open for like somebody that's that creative kind of helping them, come up with that backstory, because ultimately I think that's what, Frank, Christa, John, and Mike, they want for this community is for people to, to help build it out. Like, they can't write the story for every single character. There's 3,750 series ones. There's 300 Spartans. There's, going to be 500 of the Dark Dragons. I mean, there's lots of stories to be written still. And, the few hundreds of people that are active in the community of the thousands that are that have joined the Discord, there's so much still to be done. Right. So
we've got a novel out already. And it's still not too late because this is just the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even started, the future and what we've got planned. Like we've got novels 2 and 3 already in the pipeworks and in the thought. Like there's so many opportunities now to jump in, and like you're saying with the Discord being so overwhelming, there's a channel for each and every single one of the different series' sub drops within the drops. So many different drops within the series 1, and then we're having the series 2, the Dark Dragons being the genesis of them. We're going to have even more to come in the future. So it's definitely non-financial, obviously, but it's a good time to jump in. And I don't think there's ever going to be a bad time to catch the train. Like I think it's a train. It's going around the tracks, and it's just going to keep on going around and around. It's when you hop on and when new people do come, we're going to be here and we're going to be loving. And 18 months in, and there's already probably even longer now. I've been saying 18 months for a while now, but we back, yeah.
Yeah, there's more characters coming, right? There's not just the bunnies, and there's not just the dragons. They're not just the hooligans. I mean, like we have been teased that there are mice coming. There's squirrels coming. There are going to be other opportunities to, to create, novel characters. If you're, it's not just, they can't obviously put 3,000 characters in one book and have it all community members. I mean, obviously that you've got to, I mean, I guess they could, but I mean, I don't know what their plans are, but yeah,
you'll have a place no matter what, because we've got the TCG, and if there is
the grimoire, you'll be in the grimoire, you'll be in the recorded history, as a, a character that, like, I mean, imagine hanging out with Walt and his brother Roy as they were creating Disney back in the, I don't know, what are they, 50 years, 75 years or something like that. Like, it seems like 100 years. I know Roy or Walt, they just celebrated like 100 years, but seriously, like being back there and like, hey, what about Goofy as the name for this dog, or that kind of thing, and being part of that creative process. That's the one. I'm a creative, so I love that stuff. Like the fact that I can help tell a backstory for a character that potentially could be part of something that may be in animation, or maybe in a book, or maybe, whatever. I mean, that's just, you're not going to get that at DreamWorks or Walt Disney today. Like, they're not asking the community to help them come up with the creative. And that's just
the TCG game, the Rabbit Hole, was all done by the community themselves as well. So we're always open
Yeah.
for more things and new things to come. So it's the world's your oyster. If you don't have a way in, make your own way in, create a way. Frank and Christa are so super receptive on what everyone wants. So it's like, hell, if you've got cards or something that you want to do, like, birthday cards, I'm sure, man, we're down. Like, there is some way that you'll get your money on, even if it's just your own tangible art itself, on pillows and mugs, as we see, and the shrine of canvases in the back there.
Cards, yeah. Yeah. Card owners, yeah. Card owners. Those are not the TCG cards. Yeah.
I have cards from. I'm a baseball card collector. I collect old baseball cards from, like, they call pre-war, but they're from like 1910, 1915. Like, I have Cracker Jack cards. This card is my favorite card.
Wow. Yeah. No, that says a lot. I mean, that
and
says
I can
a lot.
show you the case. Maybe I'll show you the case next time.
Collector.
The next podcast, I'll show the case, and you can see all the cards I have. I have a 1915 Cracker Jack card that came in a set of 50. Right? There's only like 6 of them around, and this is the card that I would say this is the one that's worth more to me.
Which all of your Dark Dragons will have one of those collector cases in them. Yeah. Because this is the start of Series 2. We just finished Series 1 with the Light Dragons. Now we're starting Series 2, and all of our Dark Dragons are going to have one of those collector cases. They're one of a kind. It's a whole new chapter we're starting with these Dark Dragons.
And I think you can still pick up Light Dragons, because we haven't, like, they're with the Light Dragons, aren't they doing cards? Not all of them will come with collector cases, but I think, there's still time to grab Light Dragons and get collector cards to go along with those Light Dragons, depending on, which ones they are. Like, I think the Unhatchables come in the collector cases, and, some of those aren't necessarily the cheapest things out there in the collection, but still, I mean, there's just so much, so much you can collect. Like, it's awesome.
I'm going for because obviously the Dark Dragons are upon us now, and we've already had 2 waves. We've got 3 more waves to come. If we collect one from each wave, whether it's off secondary or we mint them, we get to have our ultimate hero dragon. And that's what I'm going for, because I've been here, like I said, since day dot. And I don't have an ultimate hero. And, like, as much as I really want one, it doesn't matter, because I'm getting my new ultimate hero at the end of this one. So it's still.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a dragon. It might be a.
Yeah, it's a samurai squirrel. That's why I was sitting here.
But still awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, because you get to design it. You get to actually sit down with Frank and Christa and say, "Oh, I like." It's like my Discofur. I like the laser eyes. I want that, or, I like rainbow hair because I'm a little fruity. Whatever the case may be, but you can design your ultimate samurai squirrel, and he'll be, you name him. So when you go on OpenSea, you will see his name that you named, and you designed that samurai squirrel. So that's another just amazing thing that this project does.
Yeah, you're not going to see that in Gary V's project, or you're not going to see that in the other big projects out there. They don't have that. They don't have that connection yet with the community to where they want
now, Brian, because as we see, like the Battle Bunnies are on that line of the trend setting and that the innovation cusp. So chances are Gary V, because I'm pretty sure Gary V got to hold one of our Spartan cards anyway. So he's
probably watching this show right now, like that, or somebody in his. Hi Gary. They was at VCon 23. Me and John were there. We loved you.
This is Grace here. They surprised me and said, "Hey, check out this link." So I checked out the link, and they changed the name of this NFT to Grace, which I was blown away with. Like that like it's like the surprise and delight, what we call in marketing. It's like the end. You're not expecting it. You don't realize it's going to happen, but it's everything that you ever wanted. And I get it. And I'm like, this is everything I ever wanted.
The surprise and delight?
Surprise and delight, yes.
That sounds familiar for some reason.
It does sound familiar. Disco, what is your favorite collectible? You can only pick one. What's your favorite collectible in the TBB world?
well, I mean, I'm obviously partial to Discofur.
Is there a second one, or is there? I mean, it doesn't have to be yours either. Like, because like that was one of the things. Like, I've fallen in love with something that's in the Battle Bunnies vault that I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing is so gorgeous. I hope she comes out of the vault someday and she's available, or I can make a trade for her. But is there anything like in the collection that you're just like, oh, like, you know, Aaron's squirrel that he got, or, you know,
the Samurai General?
Yeah. The one I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll be sharing an unboxing. But I got Aaron's. If you can see him in the upper right or upper left corner, I don't know which it is, but I've got the first print. It's up on the wall. But yeah, is there somebody like that, you know, beyond, you know, just what's in your own collection that you're like, oh man, that's so gorgeous, I want that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I could never have it, but I am a huge fan of Narf the Mad, just because I'm a little goofy and I'm not quite right. So I fit in well with Narf the Mad. So I enjoy him. And these new Dark Dragons, with the way that Frank is drawing them, where, you know, they've got Tainted Scyther in them. Spoiler alert. And it's just the way the dragons, the glow on those dragons from the Tainted Scyther that the Samurai's squirrels, you know, put into the eggs is just incredible. And I can't wait to see, there's new breeds that even me, who's a mod, and I've watched Frank draw dragons that the three of you haven't seen yet. I've been able to see them, but there's still some that I haven't even seen yet. And I just can't wait, because these dark dragons are amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I love the colors in them. Colors just really pop.
Yeah, let me see if I can find one. You guys all saw that the second dark dragon has hatched. Did you guys have any hatchings?
I did not.
From that series.
Yeah, the ground stomper. I did not get one. I minted 3 eggs from the Mystic Myrrh, and not one of them hatched. So they're either going to be mythic dragons or the other dragon breed that none of us have met yet. So still to come. I'm not sure what I got.
And that brings that little element as well, you know, minting the eggs, you know, and what they do on the back end with the contracts, and like it's absolutely crazy to fathom what's going to become next. And you know, they all have their own certain birthdays, and it's absolutely sick.
Oh yeah, that's another 6-hour podcast down the road with what Mike's doing with the contract and all that stuff. Because you know, I haven't found another project where I can scroll through and see different versions of my NFT, you know, or I'll be able to grow my NFT. So if it's just a baby, I'll be able to grow it and bring it to the mature stage by doing some things in Discord to earn points so that I can mature that dragon. That's just incredible. And then I'll always have that baby dragon, but then on the contract, I'll be able to see, oh, this is when it became mature, or this is when it became an elder. You know, who else is doing that? I don't know of anybody.
We don't want to lose that art either, because we've all got NFTs that we can send them down a portal, or we can, you know, we pay gas to do something else. Well, this is absolutely free to click through them. And, you know, Frank and Christa's art is too good to disappear. So, you know, we don't want to mature our dragon and then forget what our babies looked like. No way. We want to forever have that. And they brought it to us, mate. We've got them all right there and then, right there on MetaMask, OpenSea. You just flick them across, boom, and you've got everything that you've always. Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, that's one of my ground stompers that's tainted, and it's got the Risu Empire, so it's gonna have a painted background, which just adds to it. Like this background looks sick. I'm like, it's just like,
I know the background itself looks great now. Like, never mind.
Yeah, and just the coloring and stuff like that. It's like, oh my gosh, I love what they're doing with. For those not initiated with the project, like there is a sweet version of this, and then there's this guy, which is tainted, and this guy has an attitude, and there's a story behind this guy that needs to be written. at some point. So yeah, it's just like so cool. But yeah, these started hatching, I think at was it Thursday or Friday last week?
Might have been Friday, yeah.
Right at the drink and draw. They were like, "Hey, did you notice any hatchings?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So because you get these like the surprise and delight. You're doing something else, and then all of a sudden, like, "Oh yeah, by the way, your egg is now hatched. Go see if anything's hatched." And then of course I got a couple that haven't hatched, so I'm like, "Ooh, I might have something good if it hasn't hatched yet."
Well, and you also have to add in what else happened when it hatched. He or she has a name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they all have names, and John and Mike have done an excellent job. They because these dragons come from the east, they have I think it's Japanese inspired names with the characters. I mean, it's well researched. One of the cool stories that I saw on the Discord was Drywall in our community. His hatched, and just by chance, the translation for this guy is or well, I guess it's not on the screen anymore, is drywall. So I mean, come on, like that is just that is too cool.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, they each of the dark dragons are coming with a name, which is just amazing. And there's nice little tie-ins with the translation into the dark dragon world. Like one of from my earlier set from Imaginary Falls that hatched. I can't for the life of me remember the name, but it was like translated, it was like Dark Empire or some just amazing, cool translation, which I loved.
In saying that too, I just quickly checked what mine was, but mine still haven't hatched. My poll up, so the uncertainty. I'll always check, and the uncertainty is it brings that element.
There's so few of these items too, like available in the world. So when you get one, it's really like a victory. It's like it really. I don't know for you guys. For me, I get it and I go, "Oh, I can't even believe I got this. This is great."
Non-financial advice.
Yeah. I think didn't you miss it?
I'm just saying.
Didn't you miss out on the first day with the Imaginary Falls, Brian? I think you had to wait for the second day or something, if I remember correctly.
I had to wait for the second day, and then I was going on vacation, and so it was like the beginning part of that, and I was, so here I'm on vacation, right? So I should be vacation mode, but I am thinking like I'm gonna miss out on this hop pop, and now I'm not gonna get this roll for having all of them, and I was really torn by it. So luckily they did not have that week, and it started up again the next time. But in the back of my head I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna miss out on this thing, and like who can I call to like have them knit two of these? But then I'm like, that's not ethical. I can't do that.
Yeah, but I thought that happened to you too, Brian. Like you didn't quite have a Spartan yet or something. I can't remember how it went, but I thought something happened with you as well, if I can remember correctly.
I think I only got one the first day, and I wanted more than one.
Yeah, that could have been. Because they were. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was it?
Went like 3 minutes. They sold out in 3 minutes. In the last minting for the Spartans, like the first day of that. And it was like, well, we're going to, the next wave, the following day was going to be now open to a larger group. And then the last day, it was like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that Wednesday I got one. And this was the shaman eggs that I was like, oh, I want to get some shaman eggs. And
well, like the good thing about that too, Brian, is the first wave, they went first day just to us Spartan holders, in 3 hours. And, Frank and Chris are like, all right.
That's crazy. Time out, guys.
Snowflake Valley. Yeah, it was Snowflake Valley. Everything went and that meant in 3 hours, and like nothing else for anybody else in the community. And you could tell everybody was holding back. Like they would have sold out in 3 minutes if it would have been like what happened with the shamans, where they're like, okay, well, we're only gonna open it up to the Spartans and there's only going to be 40 of them or however many it was. Like,
because the diehards, and we've seen a lot of people missing out. And obviously Frank and Christa doesn't want that. We want to spread the love as much as we can, because like you said, we'd mint the whole lot out again if we were allowed to for the second wave. So breaking it up for that next wave, it really gave another opportunity, but I'm sure they still went just as quick.
Yeah. And it wasn't like the Spartan holders, like in other projects I've seen, people that have like the ability to mint early, what they're minting early because they want to put it on secondary and sell it on secondary and make money. That's not what's happening here. Is these Spartan holders, a couple will trickle out, but it's not like they minted in 3 minutes so that immediately they could run to secondary and sell them for a premium, which I love. I mean, I love that about this community. I think
Copy bought the last 5, I'm pretty sure, and even put an announcement out in general and said if anyone actually really wants one and they didn't have the opportunity, hit me up and I'll give it to you for mint price. And where else do you get that? Not even an extra $10, not even the gas that they spent, like just merely straight up here, this is what it was. But and worst comes to worst, he has an extra 5 dragon eggs, so it was no biggie for him. If you don't know, obviously clopping is a massive part of our community as well, and it just, the generosity and the love just goes through every single person. And if we're trying to get more people in, and someone in our community wants something more than others, then we're going to trade them, because we that's what we do. That's how we do it. Non-financial advice. You just trust anyone when you roll into Discord. There is a lot of fakes and a lot of scams going around, but I don't think there's one deal or trade that I haven't gone, like, that I haven't just swapped and changed straight away, because you know the people in the Discord. You don't have a middleman, but obviously non-financial. If you're just coming in, definitely don't just go trading and giving people money. But like, I know if I'm doing a deal with BBS, even before seeing him on a PFP, you just send him the NFT and he's going to send you the money or another NFT in exchange. And like those little things just add to it. And then this next wave, it's going to be just the same. I'm sure again they're going to go just as quick, and it's going to suck, because I got the first wave because I was a Spartan holder, obviously. Second wave, I'm staff, so Frank and Christa sent me one. But this third wave, now I'm going to be like everyone else too, like you, BBS, missing out on the first wave, waiting to the next day. Like the anxiety is real. This time around, it's cool. I've definitely got one. It's all good. So, but this next one, the uncertainty's there. So, again, unfinancial, but don't sleep on it. That's for sure, because they know.
Well, and again, these are the Series 2 dragons, which means with these, the utility that you're going to get with these dragons is incredible. Just like the Spartan holders, we all got to mint that first day. That's why we were the only ones that were able to buy them, because of that utility we got for holding a Spartan. Well, the same thing's going to happen with the Dark Dragons. You're going to get the special utilities that others that don't have them, won't be able to do. So.
Yeah, they said the Series 2, like for every egg that you have, you'll get a Series 2. So I mean, that's like they're already
that's crazy.
On to, like, we know we're going to be delivering, like with Series 1, where they started off with the bunnies, and then they had special mints, and you got, like, if you had a Valkyrie, you got the Valkyrie egg, right? That was a free mint for only. That's why Disco, talking earlier about BBS, was like, you need to have one of these Valkyries because you're going to have free egg. Like, you don't have to pay the mint price of whatever it was, 0.04 ETH or.
The thing with Spartans too, Brian, though, is like the Spartans, I think I've got a total of 6 free NFTs from the Spartans themselves, from holding a Spartan. So I'd be the same with our Series 2, our Genesis Series 2. Like you're the gatekeepers, you're the start of it. So every sub drop we have within the Series 2, you're going to get a free one. So it's like having that is just a crazy utility on its own.
Right. So if you don't have the opportunity to own a Spartan, you can have some of that feeling by having a Series 2 dragon. You're going to have that, this is what this means. And by the way, like these aren't, in other projects you buy things and then they could take a little bit to kind of go down in value, and then eventually they're at the floor, and then you're like, I have a wallet full of these things, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. this has not happened with any of, not financial advice, any of the pieces that I have. They either keep their value or they go up. And depending on what's in that, what makes them different, makes them go up even further. You can't even get, some of these pieces. It's very rare that they pop up. And if you're quick, you can get them. It's usually by someone that, is not connected to the project and does not know what is going on, because they clearly wouldn't sell them for that low.
Yeah, well, I know Brian has notifications on, because I'll see he's already bought, like a Spartan came up and he's already got it. I'm like, I didn't even know it was on the market yet. And he's already bought it.
Yeah, it was for sale for 7 minutes, and I bought it. It took me 7 minutes to get my ledger hooked up, and like Aaron has done that with several. Like he picked up
Aaron's
a whole bunch
quick.
of these Dark Dragon eggs that were like exclusive. Like somebody wanted to sell one of their Scyther tainted eggs, and he immediately saw it. It was sold in 3 minutes.
And that was a free drop for the Spartans. So that just goes to show, that was like a $300 profit straight off that, and I don't know who was willing to even sell one, but that's a separate conversation on its own. But the fact that
1%, like that was one person out of 100, that got offered up to the Spartan holders, sold theirs just because, maybe they needed the ETH. You never know what the circumstances are behind that stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, no big deal.
And that's another
everybody has a different situation.
We don't expect. If you want to buy it and make a profit, so be it. If the room's there, do it, because it just gives another entry point for someone else in. And
like me, if you guys weren't selling eggs, I wasn't buying.
I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling. I don't have that much, but I'm not selling anything.
Yeah, you get frustrated as a collector. You're like, I wish somebody would put a thistle out there, because I really need a thistle egg, and you're like, then you're starting to like, okay, I'll go make some offers, and people will, sell me, their egg that I need for my collection or something like that. And people don't part with these things. Like it was, I needed a Hooligan liquor, like the lollipop liquor, and Aaron had 3 of them. He was and there's only like 12 of them or 14 of them or something like that. I'd have to go look at my spreadsheet, because yes, I have a spreadsheet. But I approached Aaron because he had 3. I was like, hey, you got 3 of these? He's like, yeah, I really don't sell. I was like, what? You got 3 of them? You don't need 3 of them.
I love that. No, I don't sell.
So of course I
love negotiating, and I love.
Yeah, I had to negotiate with him.
I'll be back in a month when you're ready.
The top story would have been the only thing that sold it, because Aaron's such a nice dude. Like he would have been like, because it's an entry point, that's the only reason why you got one. If you were just like, I want it, he would have been like, nah, sorry, mate. But
yeah, present company excluded. I think Aaron is a really nice dude, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys have been looking at the clock, but we have been talking for an hour and 7 minutes. This was intended to be a 30 to 40 minute discussion with Disco. We have doubled that. So I don't want to cut this short, but I understand too that like somebody that's watching this, wants Disco to come back on and continue the discussion at a future date.
We'll definitely have a part 2.
Yeah, we definitely have a part 2, part 3, part 5, 15, we're not going away. Like, we are ultimate fans. I mean, you're an ultimate fan. We love the fact that you could come join us this evening, this afternoon for you, this morning for Luke, and that you could make the time. Is there any closing things that you want to, you like to share with the community or say before we say goodbye?
Just that, when you come in the Discord, check us out, say hello. We'll say hello back. And we actually have some of our Discord members never purchased a Battle Bunny, but they won them because every month all of our new bunnies come in and they go on a wheel, and you could win a bunny. And so they won a couple, and then they became great community members and great collectors. And they had no intention of getting into the project. And that's another great thing is we're not going to tell you, oh, we need your help minting out, so you need to buy 4. We're going to say, hey, don't buy any. We're okay with that. That's more for us. You don't have to mint anything.
100%,
we'll take care of it.
sucks. No,
So-
all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, all of us are fighting for those
Not
extras.
advice. Not financial advice.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but yeah, we're excited
I just love
to
it.
spread the word. We love the Battle Bunnies, and we look forward to where they go, because we know there's no stopping this project anytime soon. It's an amazing adventure we're all on, and we're excited to be here, obviously.
Awesome. Well said. Yeah, no, we really appreciate you being here. Yeah, the 100%.
Thank you.
First from the
Cheers. Yeah.
Discofur himself, the ultimate hype bunny, man. Like, I can't get any
Yeah.
better than the first episode, man. And
Yeah. Ooh. Thank you, Disco. We appreciate it. We're
Thank you,
going to
Disco.
now ban you from the no, I'm just kidding. We're going to say goodbye. But no, we really appreciate your time today. This was awesome. Thank you, Disco.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for putting this together.
Thanks, man.
See you later. Thanks. That was awesome.
What a guy.
that was
Oh
awesome.
my
That
gosh.
was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to go off on tangents though. Like with it's something that we will definitely do here. And if you are listening, we are ultimate fans. We are sorry that we do this, but we're not. You know, we honestly we get on these tangents. We go off on these little side rabbit hole little quests, and we always end up in the same thing. But you know, it just shows. You know, we are ultimate fans. We do geek out. We do nerd out. You know, and we all have a different opinion, and we all have a different reason why we're here. So, hence why we always go over the
It took a while to come up with the name for this show, but I think the Ultimate Fan Cast was like a perfect just
I agree.
epiphany that came. I was like, that's what we really are. Is like we're ultimate fans that want to talk about like what we're talking about. Like this isn't hard. This is easy to come here and for us to just gush and talk about the Battle Bunnies and the community and talk with people like Disco, and this is so much fun. Like I enjoy this, and I enjoy talking with you guys, getting to know you guys better and getting to know Disco better. Like I can't wait for more people to come on.
I already have questions for Disco the next time he's on. Like I want him to explain what full disco means. But maybe next
Disco. Nice. Yes. Well, that's for part 2.
Yeah,
That's for
part 2. So stay tuned.
Awesome.
If you are watching and you are an ultimate fan too, you know, jump in, jump in, or fill out the form. Would love to have you up because that's what we're here for. If you,
Yeah, absolutely. There'll
we
be
want to
more
hear
of
your
these.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be shy. Like this is easy. Just getting on here, having fun, telling stories, geeking out. So, all right. Well, I think that wraps. Like I think we should hit the end of the recording, right?
let's do
What do you
it.
think, guys?
Probably. Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's just do it. We'll find a good way to say goodbye, but for now we'll just say this is it.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Bye.
Cut. Thank you for joining us today, Ultimate Fan. BBS, Lord L, and Brian, that's me, do hope you enjoyed today's program as much as we did, where ultimate fans like you are the stars of the show. We'd be honored to have you join us on a future episode where you can share your story and love of the Battle Bunnies with this encouraging community. It would be the greatest compliment if you shared something you love about the Battle Bunnies on your favorite social platform today like X, Facebook, or Instagram and tagged us. Or simply use hashtag UltimateFanCast so we can recognize and celebrate with you and other super fans by sharing your post. Bonus points if you do both and use an image of one of your favorite Battle Bunnies or a screenshot of this episode. We know you share, like, and comment because you care about our fellow Ultimate fans as much as we do. Please leave comments too to let us know how we can make this the greatest fan experience for the Battle Bunnies community. This podcast is sponsored by Hairstream Media, your bunnies all the time streaming service. Okay, not really. It is just us fans like you giving some of our time to support other fans like you. Join us over in the Battle Bunnies community and Discord to continue the fun. We hope you tune in with us each week, so make it easy. Subscribe now. We'll be here to keep you hopping when you need us.